Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to episode 3 of Clicks to Clients. I am your gracious host, Clinton Jiggets, founder of Best Fit Digital. For a free consultation, you can check us out at bestfitdigital.co. But without further delay, let's get started with episode 3. Again, the purpose of me creating this channel is just to give some basic information to small business owners who, with the will to do it themselves, can achieve a lot of digital marketing success on their own. Over the course of the last 9 years of running my agency, I've had dozens of potential clients who had a need for my agency, but the budget was not there for a retainer of an agency. Because of that fact, I'm actually currently in the development stage of launching a software that does a lot of these tasks for you as a small business owner, especially if you're already a small business owner with the willingness to put in the work. But in the meantime, and perhaps after that time, this podcast is here to give you some basic information to make you think differently about your business, make you think operationally about how you run your business. One of the key things that I learned in the Goldman Sachs 10,000 small business cohort is my goal is to help you think more about how to work on your business versus in your business. So without further delay, let's get started. Is pull out your phone, because that's how most people find your website, and take a look at your website. When was the last time you actually looked at your own website the way a potential customer does? Not strategically about how you need to update or change something, but when is the last time you looked at it from a customer's perspective, from a client's perspective? I mean, really looked at it on your phone, because that's where most people are finding you, with fresh eyes, like someone who just heard about your business for the first time and wants to know if you are worth calling, worth giving a chance, worth putting into their list of possible companies to work with or to purchase from. What I know from working with small businesses across Baltimore, DC, and Virginia, and across the nation for nearly a decade is most business owners have not done that in a very long time. Most assume everything is working well, but when I walk them through their own website and expose the lack of content and information through a first-time lens, I can see on their face in our Zoom calls that they are surprised, sometimes embarrassed, but always motivated to fix it. Your website is not just a page on the internet. It's not just an empty brochure. It's your number one sales tool. It works for you 24/7 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365, 366 on a leap year. And if you never, ever look at it critically to learn how to get better at operating your biggest sales tool, you are leaving money on the table. In fact, it is costing you money every day. So today, we are going to figure out which one it is for you. Is it a lack of content, a lack of conversion information, a lack of vital content that tells people what you do very quickly? Because we all know we're guilty of having short attention spans. We're going to go through all these things. Where I want to start first is, where are you overall in your digital footprint? Is it one page? Is it a blog you haven't updated in months? Is it a product page that doesn't even have the most recent products? Think about all these things as I walk you through this. But what I want you to do first is think about, what is your website really doing right now? Your website is open for business right now, right? But is it ready? Does it pass the 3-second rule? What's the 3-second rule? Well, there's a stat that would change how you think about how your website works forever. You have exactly 3 seconds. That is how long it takes a visitor to decide whether you trust them or they trust you enough to stay on your site or leave and go and look at your competitor. 3 seconds, not 3 minutes, not 30 seconds, not a minute, not even 10 seconds. You have 3 seconds. 3 seconds. In that tiny window, your website is communicating everything about your business. Is this company professional? Do they know what they are doing, and do they know who I am? So is it targeted to the right customer? Can I trust them with my problem? Your website answers all those questions before you say a single word, before they scroll, before they swipe, before they click on another link. Now think about what a potential client sees when they land on your website right now. Does it load fast? Does it render correctly on a mobile device? tablet, desktop? Does it look modern? Is it immediately clear what you do and who you help? Or does it look like it was built in 2015? Worse, 2005? And has no one even dared to update it? What your website should do, and what I want to reframe is just about how you think about your website. Stop thinking about it as a digital business card. Just, here I am, I sell socks. No, start thinking about it as your best salesperson. Your best salesperson shows up on time, looks professional, knows the product inside and out, answers questions confidently, handles objections, and asks for the sale. This is exactly what your website should do. Every single element on every single page should have a job. If it is not helping to convert a visitor into a lead, it does not belong there. The business that I've seen grow the fastest online, and I've helped hundreds of businesses, are the ones that treat their website like it's an asset, not like it's a necessary evil. Like everybody needs a website. No, they actively invest in it, not a box, not just a template that they checked off 5 years ago. They tested, they updated, they track what people do on it. They're using all these free business tools like Google Analytics. Why most business websites fail, from my experience of work with hundreds of companies, is the same problems over and over again. The website takes too long to load. On mobile, it's a disaster. The messaging is vague. There's no clear call to action. That's the biggest loss that I see. The phone number is buried at the bottom. There are no reviews or trust signals or social proof. There's no reason for a visitor to do anything except leave. And here's the painful truth. You could be running great ads across multiple platforms. You could be ranking on Google. You could have an amazing social media presence, even an amazing presence in your local community. But if people click through your website and it does not convert them into a lead, all of that effort and money is wasted. The website is where everything either comes together or falls apart. So remember to review your website and then move on to the next segment, which is where we are now. These are the 7 things that every high converting website must have. And again, if you want a copy of this episode in PDF format, I'm happy to share it with you. Just comment, share with me in the comments with your email address, and we'll get it over to you at no cost. If you want a free consultation, of course, check us out at bestfitdigital.co. So without further delay, get out a pen and paper. Let's get moving on some real actionable steps that you can take as an owner. 7 elements of a website that converts through my experience. Again, I've worked with hundreds of clients. My agency has built almost 200 websites in the last 9 years. We've built enterprise level websites. We've built small businesses. We've even built websites for early startups, techs, service-based, law, legal, medical, education. We've run the gamut on working with different industries. And I want to give you the exact framework that we use internally when we audit a website before we launch an actionable plan to implement for our client. If your website has all 7, you are already in great shape, and you probably just need to continue updating these things. If it's missing any of them, you have a leak in your pipeline. 1, speed. Your website needs to load in under 3 seconds on a mobile device. That is the standard. If it is slower than that, visitors leave before they ever see your content. This is one of those things that goes underneath the radar because people who it's their company, they're not conscious of how long they're waiting. But think about if you visited, you're looking for a great restaurant, you're out of town and you're looking for best sushi near me. And you go to the first website and it takes 5 to 7 seconds. We don't realize how impatient we are and how fast we expect information to convert, especially I'm an 80s baby. I come from 56K modems. I come from websites loading whenever the hell they feel like it. But now we expect everything to load instantly. So if your website doesn't load quickly, not only does it hurt you from the client perspective, but Google actually penalizes slow websites in their search rankings. So it's a double whammy. It's not just about the UI, the UE, the user experience, but it is an SEO issue. Run your site through Google Page Speed Insights right now. It's free. These are free jewels. It's free, and it will tell you exactly what is slowing you down. Two, mobile first design is so important. Over 60% of web traffic comes from mobile devices. Your website has to look and function perfectly on a phone, not just be usable. You don't want to have to scroll left and right and tilt your phone and do all types of crazy things. People expect a mobile responsive experience when they visit a website. Are the buttons big enough? Are they visible? Is the call to action visible and easy to do? Think about the thumb. Think about how people use mobile devices. Is the text big enough to read? Are the forms short enough to fill out without it feeling like a hassle, without feeling like you need a keyboard? If you build for desktop and then try to make it work on mobile, you will always have a mediocre mobile experience. When we build websites, we build them with mobile in mind. Build for mobile first. 3, crystal clear messaging. Within 3 seconds, a visitor needs to understand exactly what you do, who you do it for, and why you are the best choice. I always tell clients that what is above the fold, so before you scroll on a site, is what's most important. Some clients, because they're so excited, so proud of what they've built or what they have, they want to put a huge hero image. I was working with a client. They owned 3 hotels, but they were opening up a new hotel that was going to be like a separate entity from the other 3 locations. It's going to be more of a resort style. And they were so proud of this site they bought because it was right on the, I want to say the Chesapeake Bay. I can't remember what body of water it was on. But so they had this huge picture showing the dock, showing boats at the dock. But they wanted that as their hero image. That was the current hero image on their website. And they wanted to keep it the same when they engaged with my agency. And I had to explain to them that that is not where they're going to find success. It's a beautiful picture, but you have 3 seconds, and I'm not here to look at pictures. So why are you the best choice? Who are you for? And what do you do? That is your headline. It is the most important piece of copy on your entire website. Most small business websites that I've come across have headlines like, "Welcome to our website," or "Your trusted partner in excellence." That tells me nothing. I need to know what you do and why I should care. A strong headline sounds like, "We help," let me think. "We help Baltimore homeowners stop paying high energy bills with expert HVAC installation and service." That tells me what you do, tells me who benefits. That is a headline that makes people stay on your site. That makes people say, yes, it is exactly what I need. It's sort of like if you ever learned about an elevator pitch. And if you sell socks, that's going to be my example throughout most of this series. And I sell socks. And I'm on the elevator with someone and they say, "Wow, Clinton, what do you do?" They say, "I sell socks." Oh, okay. It doesn't tell me anything. But if I say, "I help runners have more comfort during their long runs by providing them with stable foot coverage to ensure that they can run long distances," or something to that effect. And that's going off the top of my head, but it conveys the benefit and who it's for. It is not meant to just highlight the brand or what it is that the product actually is. I don't just sell pizza. I sell great food for parents on the go that need something for dinner tonight. Whatever. Number 4, a strong CTA or call to action. What do you want someone to do when they land on your website? You want them to call you? You want them to fill out a form, book an appointment, download some white papers or some sort of content? Whatever it is, that action needs to be front and center on every page, not buried at the bottom, not hidden in the navigation, not only in the upper right-hand menu section, front and center. And it needs to be specific, not "contact us." Call now for a free estimate, not "submit." Book your free consultation. Number 5, trust signals. People do business with people and companies they trust. Your website needs to prove that you are trustworthy before someone will even think about picking up the phone or filling out a contact form. This means real customer reviews, and we've come far enough in the evolution of the internet that we understand what potentially fake reviews look like. They might not always be fake, but we know what fake reviews look like. If it just says John Smith at ABC Refrigeration, and I go Google ABC Refrigeration and I can't find the company, I know you're posting BS reviews. It's best just to use an integration like Google Reviews, which we'll talk more about over the course of this series and how to leverage your Google business profile. But you need to have reviews. They need to be permanently displayed, before and after photos if your work is visual, logos of associations, certifications, or awards you have earned, a team page with photos and real bios. The more human and also credible your website feels, the more people will reach out. Number 6, easy to find contact information. So many business owners miss this because they think people are really vested so much into their business that they're going to go searching for the contact information. No. Phone numbers and contact information should be visible on every single page. Ideally in the header, it should be clickable on mobile so someone can tap to call without having to copy and paste. We're lazy. You're lazy, I'm lazy, everybody's lazy. Your contact form should be short, so it's not a lot of restriction for someone to do it. Name, email, phone, what do you need? That's it. Every additional field you add reduces the number of people who will complete it. Number 7, analytics. How do you know if it's working if you're not looking at something to see if it's working? How do you know if you're successful, if your site works well, if you're converting traffic, if you're not looking at the analytics? You have to invest in looking at analytics. And guess what? It's also free. Google Analytics, GA4, Google Search Console, these are free tools. Google them, create a profile, add them. That's where we're going to find out who visits your site, where they come from, which pages they visit, how long they stay. If you do not have these installed, you are flying blind. You're just guessing. You're not acting with any intelligence to help you to understand what's working and what's not working. This is non-negotiable. You have to use the analytics. Review it on a weekly basis. Make the pivots that are necessary. But if you're truly serious about scaling and growing online, this is a non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. So those are the 7 steps. Keep your pen out because we're going to go over a 30-day website fix plan. I want to give you a practical 30-day plan. And again, I can send this to you via PDF if you just click send it, or type send it in on the comments with your email address, and we will make that happen. But we want to make sure that you have an actionable plan that you can implement with just time. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be an SME in digital marketing like myself. All you have to do is be willing to invest time. So without further delay, this 30-day plan will help you build a site that really works as a sales tool. It does not need to be a full rebuild to start. So I'm not telling you need to learn how to do web design or build a new website right away. But small improvements done consistently, they compound. They compound and turn to big results. Week 1 is all the assessments. So some of the things that we talked about in those first few steps. We're going to do an audit. You want to visit your own website on your phone with fresh eyes. Check your load speed on Page Speed Insights. Again, this is free. Read your headline out loud on your website. Ask yourself whether it clearly explains what you do. Write down every problem you find without judging yourself. You have to be honest with yourself, and it is not a failure. We all learn. Week 2, fix the foundation information. So address the speed issues. If your website is WordPress installed, a caching plugin and optimizing your images will do a lot. Make phone number is in the header and clickable. Update your headline to be specific and benefit driven. Add a clear CTA, call to action, above the fold. That means before you scroll, meaning the part of the page that anyone sees as soon as they land on your site. In week 3, you want to add that trust signals. So reach out to your past clients, ask them to leave a Google review. You can add written testimonials, but having it authenticated by a third party just gives more social proof than just if you say John Smith at ABC company. Even if you only have 3 strong testimonials on your homepage, it will dramatically improve how long people stay on your site, because folks are looking for social proof. We're all guilty of looking for social proof. Food is the best example. We're looking at reviews of restaurants we're unfamiliar with, or we go to social media and we're listening to food reviewers tell us about food. Add any certifications, awards, associated memberships that you may have. Add a real photo of yourself and your team. People buy from people. So that is really important. In week 4, that's where you're going to install all the analytics, the Google tracking. So GA4, Google Analytics for Google Search Console. The setup is pretty easy. You can find a few YouTube videos to help you navigate that. And they have a lot of how-to help directly through Google. So whether you go to YouTube or you use Google's resources, the whole process is going to take you less than 20 minutes. Is your business worth 20 minutes? I believe it is. Once you have all these running, it takes maybe about a day or so for it to get its first updated data. And then you want to check it every week. Look at which pages people visit most. Look at where people drop off. So the last page that they're on, look at where the traffic is coming from. That data is gold. After 30 days, your website will not be perfect, but you will have a lot of actionable steps you can take because you'll have a lot of data. And it will be a real asset for you as you continue to scale and grow your business. Ultimately, as an entrepreneur, whether you have just yourself or 10 or 30 employees, I want you to take a moment and just acknowledge that we all learn. We all make mistakes. We all fall short of the goals that we want to achieve for our business. So don't look at these shortcomings that will most certainly come from your audit as something embarrassing. Look at them honestly as an opportunity. Just like you took the opportunity to bet on yourself and to start your own business, bet on yourself again and see these as opportunities to continue to scale and grow your business. Get rid of the outdated design, get rid of the outdated copy, and instead use this as motivation to make these small tweaks and changes. And I can guarantee you, you will see measurable improvement. These are the same internal steps that we follow when we're launching a new website. And of course, if you find that your site is way too outdated and it is way too cumbersome, that's when you bring on a professional like Best Fit Digital to do it for you. And even when we bring clients on, we're keeping you in the loop throughout the entire process, because ultimately we're trying to build something successful, and we can't do that without you understanding and having buy-in on what success looks like. However you go about this, I want to tell you what's really true. And again, I've worked with hundreds of small businesses. Most small business websites are not good. Most business owners are exactly in the same position as you. They had to build something, so they built something, and they kind of put it on autopilot. The difference between the businesses that are winning online and the ones that are struggling is not that one group is smarter or has access to a level of information that no one else has access to, or even has a bigger budget or bigger team or any of these things. It is that one group decided to take their web presence seriously, and the other group kept putting it off because you're working in the business instead of on the business. Today, you decided to take it seriously by watching this episode. That is not a small feat. You have your notes. You can get the free PDF. That is the decision that changes things. Now go look at your website, find the 3 biggest problems, fix one of them this week, just one. This is all you need to move. Progress beats a stalemate. Progress beats perfection every single time. So, one, I want to thank everyone for joining this episode 3 of Clicks to Clients. Remember, your website is your #1 sales tool. And now you know what it needs to be, what you need to do in order to update it. But until then, I'm going to ask you to hit subscribe if you're not already done so. Drop a comment, request that PDF. Feel free to share how you've improved your website after this episode. I definitely would love to hear it. And if you want us to do a free audit of your website and give you a full report on what's working and what is broken, you can get a free, no strings attached consultation. We'll tell you what's working. Of course, we'll offer our services, but if nothing less, you'll walk away with a snapshot of what's working and what's not working, and you'll know some actionable steps that you can take yourself in order to grow. Episode 4 drops on Thursday, and we'll be talking about the single most underused free tool that every small business has access to right now. I'm not going to tell you what it is because you got to show up on Thursday. So without further delay, my name is Clinton Jiggets with Best Fit Digital, and I want to thank you for joining episode 3 of Clicks to Clients.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, hit subscribe and stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time.